Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, good morning. That chick, yo. Toronto Riggins, D. Rob. Man, I see y'all been active this morning. Yeah, I see y'all been real active this morning. There's a lot going on. Cut this phone ringer off. All right, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? It's a Tuesday, but I promise you, this Tuesday feels a little different. It feels a little different because I know there's a lot going on. I know there's a lot of things happening in spaces, and life is happening, and people got stuff going that they don't want to have going on, and some things they do. And so we're going to talk about it, man. We've been on this journey for 5 months now, a solid 5 months. And I want to address a question today. And that question you already saw, well, what happens after this? Why is there a need for personal development? Why is there a need for therapy? What happens after that? But before I get into that, welcome to Morning Motivation, where we build community, expand our thoughts, and get our day started on the right foot. I'm your host, Jamon, and I'm excited that you stopped through. So as you're passing on in, hit that like button, and we will get started with the show. Today's topic, what happens after? What happens after? That is a question that most people ask themselves before they even start, because they want to have results. They want to get something situated. They want to improve or grow in a certain area. But the question that has to be asked is, why is all this necessary? Why do I need this person in my life? Oh, look at that. I appreciate that. Why do I need this person in my life, in my business, telling me about myself? Appreciate that, yo. Appreciate it. Why do I need this person in my life, all in my Kool-Aid, telling me what's wrong with me, when that couldn't be the furthest from the truth? We're on a natural progression where we've talked about mastery, we talked about confidence, we've talked about personal development and conquering fears and your subconscious programming and how to get from the level you are to the level you actually want to be. Well, this next series that we're getting ready to go into, it's a good one, but it's also a little bit of a tough one because it's going to challenge you. It's going to, that part in the intro, expand your thoughts. It's going to help you put rubber to the road to get more traction in your life. Because most people, what we don't realize, and this is why change is so hard, It's about a 2 to 5 year process, time frame wise, before people can actually change. 2 to 5 years. Now, that's not fixed in stone. Like I said, I'm not a licensed therapist or a psychologist. I'm just a person who's gone through a lot of the rigmarole of life. I failed a lot of times. I've done the hard work to get things together and to get back on track. And so I am uniquely qualified to talk about this particular subject because there's a path in which most of us take. And that is that recognition. You get to a certain point in your life and you realize that, okay, I keep getting these same results. I'm not satisfied with where my life is. I'm not completely in love with what's happening in my life right now. So how do I make a change? How do I make it different? And you go through this process of recognizing that there were some gaps that you potentially would have. And knowing a thing and doing something about it is totally two different things. Totally different things. Because most of us know something, but it takes us a while to make that decision. How long, let me ask y'all this question. From the moment you recognize that you have something that you need to work on to the time you actually do it, how long of a process is that for y'all? For me, it used to be about a year, to be honest with you. Somebody would say something or I'd feel myself getting offended at certain things that I would realize that maybe this person, they didn't really mean it how I took it, but I took it that way because they hit a trigger. They hit a trigger. And so now I know I need to fix that if I want to go further. But actually doing something about it and recognizing it is normally, they're not close together. They're not close together. So for me, it would take about a year before I would recognize it. You know, as I'm looking at this image, it looks kind of blue. And I don't mean just the background. I'm talking about, and this is the one of the downsides to tech. Your color patterns change. And although I think I'm seeing true colors, my skin looks a little bluer than normal. Yep. Everything looks a little bluer. But I'm in the show now, so I can't fix it. So we're gonna keep on rolling. Monique says about a month or so, depends. Yeah, it truly does depend. I appreciate that. Depends on what it is. Yeah, some things are a little tougher than others. Some problems or some situations that we recognize, they require a little bit more intense work. So I totally get it. So once we recognize it, there's an acceptance. We have to accept where we are, who we are, why we did what we did. And after that, then we seek help. And that is probably the thing that takes the longest amount of time. Because how many of us think, I'll fix it myself? Oh, I can do it. I'm gonna just read a book. Or I'll just talk to the sisterhood. Shout out to the sisterhood this morning. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just go hang out with the fellas and we'll work through something. And that's good. That's honestly, I'm not even down talking or criticizing it. We do need connection. We do need people that are in our corner that can give us positive feedback or just feedback in general. D-Rod said you would be on time with this topic. While my life in shambles. Hey man. It's actually on the natural progression. This is what lets me know that you're supposed to be here. This is how you should know that you're supposed to be here. Whenever you go, people, we're energy, right? We're all made of energy. We're all in tune with one another. And a lot of times we're not doing random things. We're doing it on the same frequency as the people around us. And so what happens is when you go to a new church or you find this new YouTube channel and it's like, oh man, this person relates to me. I feel like this person is speaking to me, right? Because we're on the same frequency. We're on the same frequency. So yeah, it's no happenstance that you're here. That what's happening in your life is happening right now, and it's not even an accident that I'm talking about this right now. As you see, it's been a natural progression up until this point. I didn't just accidentally talk about mastery when I talked about it, or fear, or attachment styles, or love languages. It's all part of the frequency that we're on for the growth that we need. So now, recognizing, accepting, and seeking help. Those are the first three pieces that are critical to getting past whatever you're trying to get past, to getting the help that you need for whatever you need. And so there's a scripture that I like. It says, "In all you're getting, get understanding." Two glasses of wine for that one. "And all you're getting, get understanding." That was my favorite scripture for a very long time because I was confused about a lot of stuff, and people were telling me things, and I was trying to recognize it in my mind, or come to some kind of reconciliation with myself on it. But I didn't understand, which is why in the personal development space, we start at the beginning. We start at that first programming, that subconscious mind. You know, who hurt you? Who loved you? Who made you feel accepted? Who made you feel anxious? All those attachment styles, all of that forms from a very early age. And once you understand that I'm here because of this, or I'm here because of that, you're able to make some changes. And generally that's what happens. You get into therapy, or you come to some personal development coaching or training, and then you start to notice my habits are changing. I'm walking more throughout the day. I'm meditating more throughout the day. I'm doing more affirmations. I'm being more grateful. All of these things are happening, and I'm feeling better about where I am. Still not quite there yet, but I'm feeling better. Exactly, Monique, the root cause of the matter. The root is where everything grows from. And this is why personal development is needed, but it's not sexy because it requires you to dig deeper. And a lot of people don't want to dig into their past, their traumas. They want to bury it, but you're never burying it. You're walking around leaking and bleeding on everybody else. But once you start having those changed habits, you start to believe that, you know what, I can do this. You start walking with a little more swag. You start dressing a little more above the average. Keep that spray on deck, though, boy. Keep that spray on deck. Because your belief system is changing. And so this is the process of personal development. This is also the process of therapy, counseling, coaching. You go through this arc, and then you arrive at one place. Once you start believing that your life can be different, your life can be better, you can have the results that you want, now there's one thing that pops up that you must have, and that is application and action. Application and action. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, there's a price, there's a cost associated with anything worthwhile. Why would you let somebody in your life who hasn't done any work on themselves, who hasn't done anything to better them as people, who hasn't done anything but exist, and you've had to do all that work? Why would you let that person in your life to mess it up? You shouldn't. It's the proper answer. However, there is a price associated. If you want to be a part of my life, there's a price that has to be paid, meaning there's some work that you must have done on the back end, because I maybe don't have 2 to 5 years to wait for you to go through that arc I just talked about. D-Rob says, what's the first step of change? How do you take action? Well, I'm glad you asked. Wait, let me see who's working today. Hold on. Well, I'm glad you asked. Better. I think I like that better. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it today. What keeps us from, what up, Kay? What keeps us from taking action? Because I don't think none of us have a problem with taking action. Somebody, let our mom call, or our best friend call, or somebody call that matters to us and they need us ASAP. We'll do whatever we got to do to take action to get to them. Let the power company call you and say, hey, if you don't have this bill paid, by Friday, we cutting your whole joint off. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to take action. So it's not the action itself that's holding us up. It's that four-letter word most times. Now, sometimes there are some things that are out of our control. Sometimes we don't control all the pieces that we need to make it work. But as far as our part, the thing that holds us back, I think when I asked the question yesterday, and since Kay is in the room, Kay did, she said she mentioned being self-conscious and afraid that she won't be able to maintain certain things. That was a very honest evaluation, and really brave for Sharon, because a lot of people don't want to share what they're afraid of. And so if you don't mind me for a second, yeah, prayer is definitely one of them. prayer is definitely one of them, but it's not what's holding you up. It's not what's holding you up. I'm gonna take a second, and if I had to guess, I'm a kind of bootleg psychoanalyze Kay real quick. Kay, I'm sorry, I'm in your business, boo. I'm sorry, but it's a good teaching point. It's a good teaching point. So let's assume that by Kay's response, she says being self-conscious and afraid that I won't be able to maintain. I'm going to assume that Kay's attachment style might be anxious, preoccupied. And if it is anxious, preoccupied, then that means she's had some early on issues with somebody close to her that was lukewarm or cold or not as, engaging, and she felt like she had to always always attach herself or be what's the word? Reaching out for that affection, always checking in, always doing that, because she didn't get the affection in the way that she needed it when she was younger. And so if that's the same thing, then it also makes sense that one of her fears is also not being able to maintain, not being able to keep her word or what she said she was going to do, because it's a trigger for her. Now, okay, I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but I'm just throwing it out there. And so if that's the case, then her attachment style, it's identifying that a fear of not being able to maintain, whether it was maintaining love for her, trusting her, or whatever, but she don't want to put that on nobody else. So she'll start doing stuff and then find herself wavering out of fear. And that's the four-letter word, D-Rob, fear. Fear of letting somebody else down. The fear of not being who you said you were. The fear of, you name it. We all have that four-letter word, and it's called fear. And so after you get through the personal development, after you get through the therapy, after you come through the group coaching, after you believe that there is a better route. The hardest part of our journey is the application. Because now we have to put what we learned into practice. I'm sorry, Kay. Did I step on? I didn't mean to step on no toes, but I'm just I was guessing. I don't know, but I see the little tear dropping over there. You good? Let me know. Let me know you're good. I ain't mean to drop no triggers on you. But yeah, so that's where most of us hit our quote unquote wall. When we get to a place where we know what to do now, we've gotten the help, we read the books, we got all the affirmations and the gratitudes, we're walking confidently, and now we're faced with the action that's involved in actually making it happen. And so this is why people say therapy doesn't work, or personal development, it doesn't work, or motivation. Why do I gotta keep getting motivated? I mean, I heard a motivational speech yesterday. Why I need to hear another one today? It don't really work. I'ma still be the same person I was 2 weeks ago. And so the hardest thing to do once you've hit that space and you've hit the fear, and then you quit and you let the fear beat you, that's when we lose ultimate confidence in ourselves. That's when we start doing activities that keep us busy, that make us hide without hiding. We do a bunch of busy work instead of doing the thing that we know we really should be doing. So one of the questions I asked a long time ago, I said, what is it that's keeping you from doing the thing that you really should be doing? All this time has almost been a setup for this day, this week right here. Because something has made us stop. Something has made us stop giving the energy, the effort, the attention. We got away from certain spaces because of that four little word, fear. We know it's false evidence appearing real. It's nothing that's true. It's a perceived danger. What they might say about me, what they might think about me, what they might do if they found out. It's not real. So to kick off this next series, like I always like to do it with, is a story. And it's a story from a long time ago. This story is probably close to 20 years old now. Close to 20 years old. And it was my first venture into the business world. First venture into the business world. And I have decided that I no longer want to live the regular life. Let me give him a little story time mode. There we go. And so I have decided now that I'm tired of working for other people. I want to go into business for myself. I want to be. Yeah, God did not give us a spirit of fear, facts. But we hit this space where, I hit this space. I'm going to just talk about me for a minute. I hit this space where I was tired of working for other people. I was tired of telling me when I could be with my family, when I could take time off, when I could be on vacation, how much money I could make. I got tired of people controlling my life. So I did what most people do. I need to come up with a side hustle. I need to let my side hustle take over my current situation so I can do that full time. And so one day I am at work actually, and my general manager, I was working as a front desk clerk at a Ramada Inn in, I think it was Opelika, Alabama. And my general manager comes into the door one day, and she's driving a new car. I'm not sure if it was a Mercedes or a Beamer. It was one of those foreigns. And she pulled up right there. You know, at the hotel, they got the little awning that hangs over and you drive under. And I saw her drive by, and I'm just like, damn, that's a nice car. So I watch, and then she walks through the door. I'm thinking it's gonna be a guest, but she's actually walking through the door. And I said, hey, was that you? She said, yeah. I said, man, you get paid the real big bucks up here. She said, nah, not really. She said, I do a little something on the side. I said, you do what? She said, I do a little something on the side. Now, these were the same thoughts I had just been having, right? Doing a little something on the side. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. So I said, well, what is it that you're doing? What is it that has helped you to upgrade your car, upgrade your lifestyle the way that you apparently are doing? Because I need that in my life. So y'all know what she was doing, right? It was a multi-level marketing business. It was Amway. It was Quick Start. Now, I had been deathly afraid of those companies because in my mind, I always heard that they were scams. I heard that they were scams, but I never got any information on them. So this is a person that I knew. I trusted her. She hired me. I didn't feel compelled. So I listened to the presentation. And what I understood was business is not as complicated or as simple as we may be led to believe. Business is one thing. It's perseverance. It's also dedication. It's also discipline. Meaning it's work. And you're going to work harder for yourself than you ever will for somebody else. It took me a while for that to sink in. But I'm listening to books, I'm reading tapes, I'm going to the conferences, I'm going to the weekly team meetings. I'm going through all of this stuff week in and week out. And I'm learning that I'm not as secure as I thought I was. I'm not as bold as I thought I was. I wasn't as brave as I thought I was. Because you know, one of the activities, I have to go meet people. I have to be excited because nobody wants to talk to a person who's has no life, no zest for life in their voice, no glimmer of hope in their eyes. And so I'm out here trying to meet people, and I'm in the mall one day, and I remember this particular day because one of my neighbors had a kiosk stand where he sold sunglasses. I think he was from India. I think he's from India. But he had a sunglass, almost like a sunglass hut. And he was setting up his sunglasses one morning. It was a Saturday morning. And I walked by his hut. He said, hey, man, how's that business going? I said, oh, man, it's going pretty good. I'm actually here now. I'm here prospecting. He said, okay, well, let me know how that goes. You know, I might be interested. You know, if you can make it look like something, I might be interested. I'm like, okay, well, bet. Sure, I can do this. You know who I am. So I'm walking around this mall for about 2 hours, and I see people, and I'm shaking a few hands here and there. But y'all know what the thing I'm not doing? I'm not asking anybody if they're looking for a business opportunity. I'm not asking anybody if they have hopes and dreams that they haven't been able to acquire just yet. I'm not asking nobody if they would like to be in business for themselves. You see, the thing, it don't matter what I would have asked them about the business, but I was afraid to ask them about the business because I was afraid of the judgment, because I had that judgment. I thought everybody that came up to me in the mall was scammers. So now how can I be the scammer? But now I know it's not a scam. Now I know that what I'm selling is a real thing. It's a real product, it's a real service. Now, how do I convince? How do I make them see? And I spent hours in that mall. My guy took his lunch break, and he saw me standing over in the corner, just posted up on the wall, just looking. And he was like, hey, man, if that business is that hard, I don't want no parts of that. He said, if that business that hard, I don't want no parts of that. Because one of the first things they tell you to do is to talk to the people that you have influence with. Make a list of your family, your friends, people you know who will at least give you an audience so you can at least practice. But I didn't really want to do that because I talked to a few people, but they was like, oh, nah, man, I ain't doing that thing. And I'm just like, we'll bump it. I'm going to go out there and meet some people. I'm going to meet some new people. I did everything wrong. But y'all know what, though? I still got some results. I still got results. Even as sparingly as I did. Now, get me wrong, I was out there every day. After work, I was traveling. I was going with my upline. He was showing a plan over here and over there. I was with him. I'm still learning. I'm still soaking this game up. But it took me far too long to get where I needed to be because of my trauma, my triggers, my fears, my attachment style, my dismissive, blunted emotions. I'm cool being a lone wolf. You can't build a team and be a lone wolf. That is the lesson that I've had to learn over and over and over again. You see, my fear is what's holding me up from living the life that I want. Because after the personal development, after the therapy, it's action and it's application. And I'm not going to belabor the point on this story, but what I will say is I built that business for 3.5 years. And I had more growth in the last 9 months. The last 9 months, I hit a level to where my business is growing. I'm meeting people. I am doing my own plans. I am doing my own signups. I am using my own products. I am seeing residual income coming in, and my mind was being blown, but it was still fragile because remember that whole time period, 2 to 5 years, where you got to really get it from here to out in the world? Well, I was just starting to get it out in the world. I had a couple of downlines that were doing well, that had some downlines, and I'm seeing how this thing could really work. And then something happened in my upline, my immediate upline. They were started going through a divorce. So now our Sunday meetings got a little sketchy. So now I'm having to lead my team without my team leader. And then something else happened in the organization to where there was a lawsuit that happened, and it just made everything weird. And then there was a schism, which is why you hear in some churches when a pastor and another member or another pastor, another minister there, one leaves the church and then members follow. It became a real big thing, and the organization became fractured. The organization became fractured, and everything became unstable. And so now I'm trying to talk to people, but I'm not certain what's happening. So now guess what I'm not doing? I'm not talking to people because I've never been one who wanted to lead anybody wrong, lead anybody astray, or try to get over on people. That's not who I am. And so I pull back from the business. And I watched my income go from, I got up to somewhere around $1,800 a month, but then it was starting to drop and go down and go down and go down. And then some other stuff happened. And then my son was a newborn. Well, excuse me, he was a preemie. He was born at 5 months, 26 weeks, I think. My wife has a massive surgery that has to happen, which is why the baby was premature. All these things were happening all around the same time. Oh, the church thing. The pastor said, God give pastors the ability to bless and to curse. All these things were happening within a 9-month period. You're talking about somebody's life falling apart? Everything that I had grown into, everything that I had tried to be was all falling down around me. All falling down around me. Now, I never thought that I wouldn't figure it out. Like I said, if I don't believe in nobody else, I believe in me. Why? Because I've had to do it so many times. However, it wasn't just me involved. I got a family with me now. I refuse to be the guy who has his family sleeping in a van because we have nowhere to go, because I flaked out, because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So, the thing that I had to learn during that period was that momentum kills fear. Momentum overpowers fear. So I call it Mo. You got to have a Mo. So I ain't talking about you, Monique, when I say Mo. I'm not talking about you. But y'all feel what I'm saying right now? Are y'all with me? Y'all understand the process I'm talking about? From recognition to acceptance to understanding to seeking help to changing habits to belief and then finally action. Well, we're all at the action phase right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you following me. I know I'm talking about some stuff that don't really require you guys to say much, but just put a 1 if you follow where I am right now, because we're going to be talking about this for the next few days, the rest of the week. Although Friday, I got an early gig Friday, so we probably won't have a show Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. All right, cool. Y'all feeling me? All right, cool. So what I learned is that momentum overpowers fear. Momentum overpowers fear. I'm going to say it one more time. Momentum overpowers fear. We're all afraid. We all have traumas and things that get in our way, that hold us back. But the one thing we all have is the ability to create momentum. You have to, Monique said, you got to listen to learn. Yeah, you definitely got to listen to learn, but you got to do. Doing is what makes it count. There's a lot of people just listening out there. I listened for years. I heard stuff. I could psychoanalyze what you told me. I got to the point one time where somebody could call me and tell me some tragedy was happening in their life, and I could dial up in my mind teachings that I heard, sermons that I heard, audio books that I read or heard, or books that I read, and I can regurgitate facts. I can regurgitate all these things that made them feel better, that gave them encouragement. But guess what I wasn't doing? I wasn't applying. I wasn't doing what I should have been doing. But I could talk about it because I just listened a lot and I was observant. And I've always had a little bit of a charismatic flair. Not like huge, but just enough. Oh, gotcha. I got you. But like I said, I'm telling my story. And I know people who will call. I have this friend. Well, I had this friend. He was a guy I was with in the military. I hadn't seen him in years, so I guess technically I can't call him a friend anymore. But he was a military buddy of mine. And he would call me, back when you had to pick up the phone at the house, he would call me on the house phone and be like, hey, bruh, man, I got a problem. He would tell me his problem, what was going on. And I would give him the best advice I knew how, or best advice I knew at the time. And then one day, I'm at his house, and he's on the phone with somebody, and he's giving them word for word the same exact advice that I gave him, that he didn't do anything with. He didn't do a thing with it, but he was willing to pass it on to somebody else as if he know it works. And I remember being offended. But then that's what I did. I took somebody else's advice I didn't take my action. I didn't learn through trial and error. I didn't even take a class. I just went and read a book or saw a video or something. I don't know. But I just passed it on. That's not what builds momentum. Momentum is taking, you know what? Momentum is taking small actions, small steps, having success, watch, repeat, doing it over and over again. Whatever the thing is that's giving you pause, go do more. Run to the fear. Now, I'm not saying run to danger. Don't run to danger. Oh, I'm afraid of snakes. Run to leave the snakes alone. Get away from the snakes. We're talking about things that you fear doing because you think there may be a judgment associated with it. You think it may not go over well. You're not sure what the outcome is going to be, but that's why you need to go do it. That's why you need to go do it. And every time you go do it, you take a little bit of power. You create a little bit momentum, a little bit more momentum. We just watched the Super Bowl, and we understand the principle of the faster this guy runs with the ball, the harder he is to stop. The harder the quarterback throws the ball, the harder it is to intercept. Momentum and mass. You are mass. And the faster, the more momentum you have, the harder it is to stop you. But what we're doing is we got this big boulder called fear, and we're trying to push this boulder up the hill by ourselves. Afraid that if we let go of the boulder, it's going to crush us. That's where most of us live. But when people come around, we lean back against it and we just chilling, we on our phones with the big boulder on our back. Oh no, everything's good. I'm okay. Playing, all stoic and like nothing bothers us. We got it all figured out. But if they looked at our legs, they see that we were shaking like the leaf on a tree in a windstorm. If they would look closer, they would see the beads of sweat because the strain of trying to hold that boulder up. That's what we're talking about, momentum and fear. We've gone through all the personal development. We've gone through 5 months of personal development, well, maybe 4. We did take a month to talk about some other stuff. But at least 4 months of personal development. And there's been some traction. There's been some movement in this community, and I'm grateful that you are doing things for you. I'm proud that you are doing things for you. And I'm excited that you are, because it keeps me going. It keeps me motivated to do more too. Because how can you be the head of something and everybody that's around you outworking you and getting results better than you can? It's like being a parent. You talk that noise to your kids about what they're going to be when they grow up if they don't get this right. And then they grow up and they got it right and you over there still struggling. It's a hard pill to swallow. Hard pill to swallow. I know a few people that struggle with that. But anyway, so for the rest of the week, we're going to talk about conquering that fear. Things that holds you back. And we've already talked about the first step today, and that is identify your fears. Identifying your fear is the thing that will give you the biggest jump. It will open your mind to why certain things happen, why they continually happen, and how to stop them. Because knowing the root cause of your fear is the first step in overcoming it. Knowing the root cause is the first step in overcoming it. And there was this one piece. It's one thing I wanted to stress a while ago, but I forgot. And it was actually talking about how emotional abandonment. Sometimes in life, we go through stuff and we feel like we were abandoned emotionally. This is how somebody can grow up secure, get into their teens or early 20s, go through a traumatic heartbreak, and now they're anxious all the time. Or now they're dismissive all the time. Because they went through emotional abandonment. And it's that emotional abandonment that makes them insecure in not just their personal life, but also in their professional life. The need to please, or the I don't need this job anyway, I'll just leave. They make other jobs. Or you want to fight your manager. Emotional abandonment is something that is taking us through it. D-Rob says, where I'm at right now, momentum is my homie. Yeah. Momentum works both ways. Because it's all about your focus. This is why we talk about your focus, your intentions. What are you being laser focused on that you want to do? Because life will take you the other way just as fast. So you have to decide what you want. Y'all see, it keeps coming back over and over again. You have to decide what you want. And you have to make steps and take actions to make that happen. Because if not, then life will put you on this roller coaster on this side, and now you're doing a job that you particularly don't want to do, which leads you into this organization that you don't really want to be a part of, which leads you a part of this friend circle that you really don't like. They're fake friends, which now puts you in this income bracket, which now isolates you from these people. So now you got this whole chain reaction of things because something that to do something you didn't even want to do. So imagine if you were dialed in, focused on what you actually wanted. Then there's also momentum and then chain reactions that happen on that side as well. Yeah, because if you ever seen somebody get dragged by a dog or a little animal that they were trying to walk? The only thing you can do when the momentum is going too far, or rolling too fast and it's dragging you, let go. That's all you can do. When there's an avalanche of things coming against you, sometimes the best thing you can do is let go. Let go. D-Rob says, it's a little scary too because it's on you. Exactly. Your momentum and your focus determines where you will be. It puts you in the general direction, yeah. Yeah, it puts you in the general direction. If you know you want to go to whatever city is north of you, then you know that there's only but so many ways you can get there. Now, there's a direct route and there's alternate routes. The direct route is the fastest, but sometimes it has the heaviest traffic. It has the easier drive, but there may be delays. Now, the alternate route, it'll still get you there, but it may require you to go maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes another way to make that a correction or to make that connection. No, you're not talking too much. No, this is you're doing exactly what you should be doing. We're a community, man. We're a community. This is what we do. This is what we do. Anytime you are trying to get directions to a place, you can be like the old school cats and just sit in the car and keep driving, or you can get out and ask for help. I'm trying to go this place. I'm trying to go here, but I'm not sure. I thought I made a left up here, but apparently I didn't. So how can I get back on course? That's what this life is about. That's what this channel is about. Figuring out what's holding us back and then going and doing that. Figuring out how do I get from this place. I never wanted to be in this place, but yet I find myself here and I feel stuck. How do I get unstuck? They say if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. Stop digging. If you're being dragged, let go. So, what we're going to talk about is, I guess, starting tomorrow. We'll revisit, identify your fears, because I know there'll probably be a few more questions tomorrow about it. But we're gonna spend a lot of time on challenging negative thoughts, because that's one of the things that really hold us into the spaces that we are. Those negative thoughts. Remember that subconscious programming that we talked about a while ago? That subconscious programming, those first teachers and that first training that you received, they stick with you. They stick with you for a long period of time. And so our goal is going to be for the next couple of months is, now I'm going to give you my vision. I'm getting ready to start some new endeavors in my life. I'm getting ready to create some new strategies, some new strategic plans, because I'm giving myself about 2 years to get some things accomplished. And if I do it half right, I've just changed the direction of my life, not just the rest of my life, but even for my children's life. So I got some things I need to get done over the next 2 years. And I'm going to be on mission. I'm going to be on mission. And so what I would like to see is some of you get those results, the same results that I'm going for. So I'm going to be lasered in on actual action steps, actual progress reports, which means that some of the group stuff this show may change just a little bit, and I'm going to be doing some stuff, maybe on a little Zoom call, just so we're not putting everybody's business out in the public. But that's where I'm headed with it, because we do all the personal development training, we do all of the therapy, we do all of the coaching for what? To get results. Not just to get more informed, but to also get results. And so that's what I would like to see for those in the group who are looking for their next level. And it could be it doesn't even matter. It could be business, it could be a relationship, it could be just personal growth. It could be whatever it is, whatever your next level looks like. I want you to actually get there. I want you to actually realize your dreams, because there's no greater feeling in the world than to have a dream, have a goal, work your butt off for it, and then watch it come to fruition. It's just as good as watching your child graduate from high school or have some great accomplishment. It's even better because it's more personal to you, because it builds your confidence, it builds your self-esteem. When you look in the mirror, you start seeing yourself differently. Y'all ever looked at y'all old baby pictures or your old elementary school pictures when you missing the teeth, and you just like, oh man, you don't really think much of it, but it's funny. But then once you see your old young adult pictures, when you thought you was that person, and you kind of embarrassed about how you was taking care of yourself, how you look, what you did, it's like, oh man, don't nobody put that picture up there. Please stop, don't show that one. I know y'all do. I know we all do. But we're talking about creating the life that you want, and the game the games that we play with ourselves, the games other people play with us, it's time to let those go. So, this is where we're headed. I hope you will still be along for the ride because it's all about getting results from this point on. Now, we're going to revisit some old topics. We're still going to do morning motivation in probably this very similar form, but I'm probably going to start over at some point and go back through the basics again just to bring new people that's coming along, that finding us. I'm going to go through the basic things. But we're going to probably be splitting, doing something a little bit more advanced at some point. I haven't worked out quite the details on it just yet, but that's what's coming. So in the meantime, we're going to be talking about it here. We're going to talk about it here, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes. So you guys got any closing thoughts? What you guys think about that? Y'all trying to have some community growth, some personal growth. Are you tired of holding that rock of fear up behind your back, pretending everything's okay in public, but go home miserable at night thinking like, man, it's supposed to be better than this. I'm supposed to be doing more than this. Well, guess what? Nobody is coming to save you. You gotta save yourself. However, there's a car, there's a bus, it's a Sprinter van pulling through the station right now called Morning Motivation. And I'm driving slow. And if you wanna hop on, let's go. Life is about growth. It truly is. And as much as I want to grow, I want to see other people grow as well. Because that's the power of community. It's the strength of that community. If you had the ability to influence, and it could be anything from the school board, to local politicians, the presidency, your local HOA. If you could influence it for good, I think you would. But how do you gather influence? It's community. None of us were meant to stand alone. And like I say, because I'm a dismissive, I've played lone wolf far too long. Strength comes in numbers. They call it collective power. And when you have something that's backing you, when you have a company, when you have a career, when you have friends and a network, you can get so much more done in life. Life doesn't have to be hard. It's only hard when you do it hard. Create value within yourself. Add value to the groups that you're a part of, and watch the community grow. Watch the influence grow. Watch the power grow. But anyway, hey, my guy, where we going? You might not need that spray, bruh. I'm gonna tell you, where we going, you may not need that spray. Because game recognize game. Game recognize game. And just like old girl, I meant to ask you about old girl too. Did you shoot your shot? I'm curious, did you shoot your shot? Did you shoot your shot? Game recognize game, man. And just like when you saw old girl, you saw, oh, I need to get myself straight. Same thing's gonna happen with you. Same thing's gonna happen with you. And you'll know them when you see them. That's the beautiful thing about growth. You recognize people from 1,000 miles away because you used to be very similar. But anyway, guys, it's Tuesday. Go out and make it a great day. Live your best life. And as Health Talk would say, have a great day no matter what. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow for the first part of our, I don't know, conquering fear action plan. I'm not sure what to even call this yet, but I have some crafty, clever name by tomorrow. All right, guys, y'all be blessed. We'll see you on the next day. Peace. I think. Yeah, peace.